Free-to-play games is something I struggle to take fault with, as there is no investment risk other than your own time and maybe some bandwidth if you're not on an unlimited data plan. Fortunately for me, I have unlimited data, so my only cost of entry to a free game is time, which isn't a big deal honestly, especially because there's usually some fun to be had when playing with friends, no matter the quality of the game. So the inherent value of a free-to-play game is hard to judge, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair to critique them against retail games. That being said, there are definitely titles that do it better than others. So with that, let's look at Paladins, Champions of the Realm, and how it stacks up to other no-cost endeavors. Paladins of the Realm is a strange beast. Yeah, there are the obvious comparisons to Overwatch characters, but the developers have been pretty adamant about proving that they've been working on those designs since before the Overwatch beta. Hi-Rez Studios opted to pull ideas from their previous titles, namely Global Agenda and Tribes, to create a game that injected MOBA sensibilities to a shooter, at least according to a Reddit post by co-founder and COO Todd Harris, where he states, "The initial idea was to make a Cities of Hero type MMO game with real shooting," backing his claims up with links to developer videos that predate anything to do with Overwatch. Before I continue, I should state I don't think Paladins is a bad game. There is fun to be had for sure, get some friends together in a party, and a lot of value can be found. I don't think Paladins is a good game either. With its current beta state, there is room for it to be improved and made something worth sinking many hours into. I think what's important to look at before we tackle the problems with Paladins is what makes a good free-to-play game. Personally, I think Dota 2 is the crowning achievement of solid free-to-play games. Unlike its direct competition, League of Legends, Dota 2 allows all heroes playable from your first game, whereas League has a weekly rotating roster of characters to choose from, something that has become a trend in many free-to-play business models, including Paladins. There isn't anything wrong with the rotating roster. It encourages trying out different characters and not limiting yourself to one specific skill set, giving you the option to expand your horizons beyond trying to be the hardest carry in the game. So where does this leave us with Paladins? I'm going to try and limit my comparisons to Overwatch because, like I said, Hi-Rez have seemed to have had their own plans in place before Blizzard came crashing onto the scene. However, the one major fault is the card system. This lets you kit out a champion with buffs to certain traits on each ability before the battle begins, giving anyone who has put a significant amount of time and money into the game an edge over anyone else who is just picking up the game or not wanting to invest in it. Contrast to Team Fortress 2, where, as far as hero ability goes, all players are evenly matched and rely solely on their skill. At the end of the day, Paladins has a very inoffensive form of pay to win, because it's not giving you the biggest, baddest, most overpowered weapon in the game to destroy those who face you, but it's still a form of giving a leg up to those willing to spend money. Loot chests, rewarded with each level up, offer a set of random cards, meaning at some point it is possible to have a deck of customizability exactly how you want it, but not without a lot of grinding, possibly against those who just spent the money, which can be incredibly frustrating. One of Blizzard's free-to-play games, Hearthstone, has a more discouraging system in place where you can pay to unlock any pack of cards you need for a competitive deck. But with how many cards there are now and the random aspect of not getting exactly what you need, that's an incredibly long grind to catch up on. Without dropping obscene amounts of cash into the game, you will most certainly be left behind. While Paladins is quite tame, as I said, there is potential for it to get out of hand and require emptying your wallets or grinding like Hearthstone demands. It's not in your face, but you will need to climb that paywall if you want to succeed on more than a very casual basis. Ambition is something that can stifle a lot of free-to-play games. Sure, Dota 2 and Hearthstone have the pockets of Valve and Blizzard respectively, giving them the luxuries in the development, allowing for freedom when it comes to execution of their vision. Paladins feels like it has ambitions beyond its current scope. Moderately sized maps with characters that don't encourage a playstyle outside of just meet in the middle and have a shootout. Things can feel incredibly stale very quickly. Like I said, Paladins isn't a bad game by any means, but there is a lot of room for improvement too. With some glitches ironed out, better focus on map control, and hopefully a do away with the slight pay-to-win walls, free-to-play business models are a hard thing to nail in terms of accessibility, while also trying to generate a revenue stream. Most companies have learned that penny pinching and intrusive paywalls aren't the way to be successful, especially on a platform such as Steam. As it stands right now, Paladins is an alright free alternative. Its paywall is like a small blemish on the overall experience, of which it has its own problems that need to be addressed, but it honestly has the potential to be the go-to game for a lot of crowds.